Hello, welcome to our short little broadcast. It's just a question we're going to ask an INFP. This is my son Josiah, INFP. And the question today is, how does understanding your personality... Oh, by the way, nice to have you.
Thank you.
How does understanding your personality and other people's personality, how does that help your walk with God?
So the Bible says that wisdom is the principal thing. And I was thinking about how when you learn about personality, your personality and others, it helps you to know how to love them, and not just the way you want to, but the way they're designed, and how in the Ten Commandments it says that love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. So the second is like unto it, love your neighbor as yourself. And by learning about your personality and others, it helps you to love them. And I think that's part of God's wisdom, is learning about how people are designed. You can learn how to love them, and you can also understand them. So it's not like you can understand why they're doing what they're doing and why, for like how they act.
So love thy neighbor as thyself. So am I hearing you say, if you understand your design, you'll allow for their design, you'll love them in their design, or not? Because it's an interesting verse. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. So can you talk to us a little bit more about that? Because it says, love your neighbor as yourself. And that seems like...
I think it's interesting that it says, like, love your neighbor as yourself. I think it's also, it could be seen as saying, I think, maybe I'm wrong with this, but love your neighbor as yourself could be the same thing as saying, loving the way they're designed as the way you're designed. Like, loving them, how they're different than you, they're different, but they have a design just like you.
So essentially, you have to be comfortable with your design and be okay, like, be thankful for your design, and then you can be thankful for their design.
So it might be like how when it says loving your neighbor as yourself, it might be like saying to love their design too, just like how you love your design.
Do you love your design?
I used to not, but I think
really?
I've gotten to where I do.
What were some of the hard things about seeing your design?
I think just having my FI first is always hard, because it has to pass to my values. Well, I could see everyone else, they just, when they're told something, they can either, like, for instance, FE, they take on the values of other people, which can be a problem sometimes, but if they're around people who have the right values, it is really helpful.
So for the audience, what's FI and what's FE?
So extroverted, we call it values. So
that's
for
FE?
them, yes, FE. They can take on other people's values. Well, when they basically learn about other people's values, and they can take on the group's values and what they value.
And so it was kind of hard when you saw that you were
I had to build mine. Like, I had to form them for myself. I couldn't just take on other people's. I can. It's just I have to really value it. Like, actually, like, value what the person's saying. So once again, I do have to build the value of what. Yeah.
And so you sort of were a little bit jealous or envious of people who had had an easier time building their systems.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
And so what now? Why is that different? Why are you a little bit more okay with that? What kind of gave you that peace?
I think knowing that all personalities, they have their strengths and weaknesses, and if I had the FE, it would make having the values easier, but I would also have other problems too that I would want.
Yeah.
Because
nobody gets away with anything.
Yeah, no one can actually get, like, no personality is the best.
Yeah.
So whatever you have, you're always having some sort of weakness.
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes our biggest strengths can be also our biggest hindrance. All right. So thanks for sharing some thoughts about being an INFP and what it means to help you walk with God and love one another.
I also had an interesting thing. about so when I was talking about loving other people, I was thinking about the love languages. It's interesting because I saw in an INFP book that it says something, I think it was either quality time, or I think it was quality time was the highest. But for me, for some reason, it's actually receiving gifts.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just, I think also when you love someone, they can also be because in personalities, it seems like there's a pattern for different personalities that enjoy certain things that make them feel loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it can also be changed by how you're brought up or how you're trained. Your love language can change, like shift kind of, so that this makes you feel more loved than.
Almost like the environment can really impact your love languages.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that, yeah.
So I was just,
Thanks for sharing that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to remember. All right, well, thanks for joining us. This is just a quick little discussion about what it means to love your neighbor as yourself and understanding that in light of design. So thanks for joining us. Take care.